Linda Ferguson,
Karen Nelson Bell.
and this is Platinum Prime for Life podcast. So, today it's cold, and I'm not working in my regular office. I am in a cozy, much cozier room and staying pretty warm. How about you, Karen?
I did a study on exercising in the cold, and it improves your metabolism and improves your immune system. And in Scandinavia, they put babies out in the cold in the winter for a couple of hours to take their nap in the cold.
What?
Yeah,
That sounds like child cruelty.
well, it does to us, but look, they're very hardy people. I am Swedish Norwegian on half of me, so I kind of like this idea. So I've been actively walking in the cold to boost my metabolism and boost my immune system.
I love it. That's wonderful. You do that, and I will work in a cozy environment, and we will get along just fine. So, which is a great lead into what we're going to be talking about today, which is motivation. And more specifically, some tips on how to stay motivated. It's the beginning of the year, and hopefully, we've all put together our goals and the things we're going to accomplish for this year, or we have some idea on that. So, part of that is once you set a goal, is you keep working toward that goal, and that takes motivation to accomplish.
I thought it was kind of interesting. We decided on this topic around, let's say, noon today, and I had to run out to do an appointment. And then I went to the grocery store, and in the grocery store aisle, there was one of the women's magazines. I don't know, Women's Day or something like that. One of the inexpensive ones, inexpensive by comparison. I mean, it was like $3 to $4, but that's compared to Architectural Digest, which is $24. Anyway, on the cover, it said how to get motivated and how to stay motivated. And I thought that is so funny. So I bought the magazine, plunked down my $4, and I left it in the car. So I don't have it to rely on. So what I'll do is I will extract wisdom from it. I don't know how much wisdom you're going to get from just somebody who all that person did was went to AI and said, how do you stay motivated? How shall I write an article, and plopped it into Women's Day. But we'll see what they have to say after we have our opinions.
Okay, so I was looking at definitions of motivation, and the one that I like the best is, so tell me what you think of this one, is the essence. What is motivation? What's its essence? And the essence of motivation is energized and persistent goal directed behavior. When we are motivated, we move and we take action. It's influenced. So, what influences motivation? And we're going to talk about this more.
Just again, that was beautiful. I think I need to let it percolate or marinate.
Okay, good. So I'm going to read. It's a paragraph. The essence of motivation is energized and persistent goal directed behavior. When we're motivated, we move and take action. Motivation is influenced by the satisfaction of needs that are either necessary for sustaining life or essential for well being and growth. So, that last sentence is motivation is influenced by the satisfaction of needs. So, satisfaction, or you have something that you accomplished, you got it done. Motivation is influenced by the satisfaction of needs. You had something you needed, it got met, your needs were met, and motivation, your motivation is influenced by being able to meet the needs that you want met, that are either necessary needs or necessary for sustaining life or essential for well-being and growth. Boy, I made that complicated at the end, didn't I?
A little bit, but you know what? What I took out of this is that the quality of the goal might have an impact on the quality of the motivation. Because if it's to I don't, can you read the last part again? That was so good. It really,
I'll read the whole thing because it's actually better to just wrap your wits around the whole concept.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. The essence of motivation is energized and persistent goal directed behavior. When we're motivated, we move and take action. Motivation is influenced by the satisfaction of needs that are either necessary for sustaining life or essential for well being and growth.
Well, I have an idea. I got an idea on this. Okay. So necessary or essential. I think when you're planning what you want to be motivated, like, let's say you have a goal, but you're afraid you won't be motivated, make that goal something that is necessary and essential.
Mhm.
So that you know how people talk about motivational speakers. There's a lot of people that are motivational speakers. I think they're motivational speakers to motivate themselves, because if you've posted yourself as a motivational speaker, you better be motivated. um, if you have the most powerful why, you will have the actions will follow. And I feel like that's a little bit of what it said, because if the goal is not necessary or essential, there's not a big enough why to stay motivated. Am I on the wrong track?
No, I think you're on the right track. There's another aspect to it too. Almost everyone I know who's not too skinny at the beginning of the year has a motivation to lose weight. They have a goal or they have a resolution. I'm going to lose weight. I have a goal to lose weight. I have a goal to lose 10 pounds. So, how do you stay motivated toward that goal? And if we look at what we just discussed, which is you're trying to satisfy either something that is essential for your survival, like if you don't do it, you're going to die or you're going to really suffer as a result. Um, or it's a goal, it's you're elevating yourself, you're motivated to doing something to meet an aspiration or a situation that you can clearly see that's achievable. You've decided it's achievable in some shape or form. And it's an internal state. And I think that it wasn't noted there, but it's something that comes from within you. It isn't someone telling you you've got to do it, but it's a decision you make toward accomplishing a motive.
And it's very interesting because this is the first year in my entire life after the age of 16, because I was a normal person up until 16 when I started to diet to get an 18-inch waist, and that's when I started to get fat. It was when I started to diet. This is the first year that I haven't had to have that as my goal. So the goal now is to tweak my dietary regimen so that I maximize my health, which is a little different goal. But my reason for losing weight was because of pain. I had too much pain in my knees, and I had too much pain in my back from a curved spine. And I was motivated to lose weight because it was hurting. And that was my motivation to stop eating sugar, corn, and wheat, because those three things I finally observed. Just same thing as I observed alcohol. I observed it. Like some people take a dry January. That's one of their motivations, is to do a dry January, no alcohol, just to see what it's like. And then some people just keep going. Well, I observed that alcohol made me feel very bad. I mean, consistently, it never made me feel good. It always made me feel bad. I finally woke up one day. My grandpa was an alcoholic, and when he died, I did a year of no alcohol. And at the end
Yeah.
of that year, it was like, I don't need any alcohol to be happy, And so um, you I have to be motivated to not do corn, wheat, or sugar because they bring me pain. I finally observed that the same reason I quit alcohol was the same reason I quit those three. And junk. Basically, I don't eat junk food, and I haven't eaten junk food now for 6.5 years. So the motivation is not for how I look, although that's a nice residual effect. Is I think um, I think I think I look better with without being fat. I think it's a better look, but that isn't the reason. The reason was to stop the pain. So, and then now here's another thing about crafting your goal is that I'm writing a book called Super Senior, right? Well, I wrote books called Keto Express and Keto Calendar. Well, if you're a keto person, if you're a keto coach, as I am, you better not be walking around all fat. So I kind of have like a business motivation. I don't know if that's a valid motivation, but it is a motivation. And certainly, if I'm writing a book series called Super Senior, I have to do everything that I can possible to be a super senior. Otherwise, why would anybody listen to me? Now, there's lots of health gurus that have died and have died too soon. You know, so I don't know how long I'm going to live. I don't know. It'll be interesting if I'm a fake or if I'm the real deal. Am I really a super senior or am I fake? I'm
No,
80. I'm headed. I think I can make it to 90 for sure. Don't you think I can make it to 90?
yes, I think you can run circles around many people that are decades younger than you as it is. So,
So what if you set yourself up with a goal that what if you found that why, or even if you didn't have a why that was powerful like what mine was, create one. Create some why that forces you to be accountable. That would be a motivating thing.
well, we're talking about how to stay motivated. How do you keep that motivation going? And let's just talk about that. So, it's the energy that you have, that you exhibit, and that you put forth to hit a goal or a target that you've set for yourself. And so in businesses, how do you keep employees motivated so that they are really working eagerly with a great attitude? How do you have a great attitude towards the goals that you've set for yourself? In other words, how do you keep yourself motivated? How do you keep yourself motivated? What kind of tips can you share?
Well, I'm going to say that tip number one would be to find uh, your powerful why. I'm not the first person to ever say that, but find your powerful why. My why, I've just now told you two or three of my whys. Find at least one why. Is it just because you want to fit into a dress for your daughter's wedding? That could be a powerful why. That could be a very powerful, powerful why. You know, and find something like that. And then I would say find a way to release when you don't meet your expectations. For
To
example,
release?
to release to if I go on my birthday and I have more keto is a low carb way of eating. So on my birthday, I eat lots of carbs. They're healthy carbs, but I eat lots of healthy carbs, sweet potatoes and cassava root and all kinds of things. And then I release that failure to keep the commitment and I just release it. And I think when you have a failure, I think you're going to have to release that failure and say, okay, I just have to keep I thought of my thing. I thought of what I want to say. Okay. When Duncan died, everybody was asking me, how are you doing? And I'd say, I think I'm doing okay because we had a huge amount of real estate investments that were coming to the close where I had to be there and organize paperwork and make choices about de- interior design. And I had stuff I had to do. But what I kept telling people was I kept saying, um, I think I'm okay because I'm putting one foot in front of the other. And I think maybe that is my secret weapon is like even on myself I do things for enhancement, emotional, mental, emotionally, spiritual. I do all kinds of things for enhancement. Well, I just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and I have not stopped since I realized that's what I had to do right around 19, like when I was I'm 80, and that was about 7 years ago when I was 74, I realized I've got to keep putting one foot in front. And actually in life, I've done that a lot. So put one foot in front of the other and see how you feel about that on a daily basis. It's pretty good.
All
What do
right.
you think? I want to know what you think. I want to know, how do you keep yourself motivated, Linda?
Well, it sounds like I have a little more ups and downs than you might have, but I have clarity. So we talked last week about habits and resolutions. And so in an earlier episode, we also talked about habits. So habits are one of the sustainable things in my life. As I've aged, what I think aging is like is not what it's been like. And to me, aging has been just a culmination, just a bit by bit of receding energy. A lot of things have pulled back. I don't look as useful as I used to. I don't move quite as freely as I used to. Mustering up the energy takes a little bit more. I'm not naturally a jumping around and doing jumping jacks type of a person. So keeping the motivation side of things up has been a bit more challenging simply because I don't have the stores of energy to do at the same level that I did when I was a young mother, or a lot of different aspects of my life. So I've just observed the older I get, the more I really need to get strict on making sure I'm going, making sure that things happen and they happen on a routine. So when I stick to that, it's pretty easy for me to stay motivated because one of the things I do, and I do it every single day, is I showed you the little app I have called Fabulous. And it has a morning routine when I first get up, the things that I do, my work routine, my getting ready for bed. One of the first things I do when I get up is I look at the goals that I've set for myself for the year and I reflect on those. And what I find is instead of plugging into what my day is about to be, I plug more into what I am achieving, what I am becoming, what I am creating.
I
And it
love
puts me somewhere else. And then the next thing I do, so that's one of the things,
I'm
and
gonna,
then I journal.
I'm
What's
stealing. I'm gonna steal that.
that? Oh, good.
I'm gonna use that app, but I have something that is similar
Sure.
in my world to that app, and that's what I'm gonna do. I like that very much. I think everybody should do that.
Well, I think so too. I think it's definitely, I mean, the app just gives you a step by step. That's why I use it. And there are lots of them. And you can even just have a piece of paper if you want. But as I go through, it's funny, like I have certain things about myself that I just refine the statement until to me they're a perfect statement for me on who I am and what I want to accomplish. And it sort of just sets my mind right. So as I move forward, I go, oh, hey, I accomplished that. And now how can I make it better? I'm doing that. How can I make it better? Anyway, that's one of the things I do. So I
So
do highly recommend it.
I want to just make a comment is that I do that. The mantra that I used to, I made this mantra over a period of years. I effortlessly select nutrition that is simultaneously nutritious and delicious at times and quantities that are beneficial for my health, fitness, longevity, and pleasure. And it goes on. It has another paragraph to it. And I do. I repeated that every day. And guess what? I looked at it in late December and
Yeah.
it was true. My mantra became my truth. It can happen, guys. It's not some woo woo. It's not woo woo. Your mind, your body, everything, it listens to what you're saying. Your words, we talked about that last week. Your words are so important. And that's beautiful. So to that degree, and I was doing one about my body, and I probably should just keep going because well, no, I trust myself. I really actually got there. I effortlessly choose nutrition that is simultaneously nutritious and delicious. So at the right times and quantities. So that's it's there. I was going to say I better keep saying it. I don't need to because it's a truth. But I have a wealth one because my finances, when you go from multimillionaire to minus millionaire, it's very humbling. And so I think I need to reinvigorate that mantra that I used to say. Yeah,
To multimillionaire. Yes, I think
yeah,
that's a great idea.
yeah.
Well, the other thing I find that helps me, so part of what I do every day is I look at what I want to be in every area of my life. It does include relationships, it includes my children, it includes my business. It's statements, right? Statements of beingness. And then the other thing I do is I write in a journal and I sort of just download how the day went, what happened, what I accomplished, what the scenario, what the circumstances of my life at that particular day or that particular moment was. And what I find the therapy in that is I get to collect my thoughts in a way that is more objective for me. And
Excellent.
I always wind up with what did I accomplish? What was I most proud of for the day? So,
I wish my mother was a diarist or a journalist. She was a writer, but she also did keep a diary every single day of her life since she was a young woman. And
mhm,
her mother, my grandmother, was also a diarist and journaled all of her time. And I inherited all of those diaries.
wow,
And I inherited the quality of doing that since I was a teenager because mother and dad would give me a diary at the beginning of every year. And I
wow.
did that. And I did that a long way into my professional entertainment career. And then I stopped doing it because I was so busy creating this life that I didn't have the time to write about it. So then I started leaving recordings of what it was, and I'm afraid I've dropped it out, but it's something wonderful, and maybe if I only journaled what did I accomplish and what am I grateful for, maybe instead of I went to the grocery store, I spoke with so and so on the phone, I think Bobby likes me, I sent he pulled my pigtails, so I think he might like me. It's more like what you accomplished. I think that's a great piece of advice.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it because I can pick up, because I have mine chronologically saved, and I'll pick up something and
Yeah,
say, oh my gosh, I'm so not there anymore. And I wouldn't remember many of the small details of my life just because my life's full of a lot of
yeah,
small details. So
yeah.
it's pretty
Wow.
fun to do, and it's pretty fun when, especially if something's changing and you're trying to figure out exactly what, that's, that's actually nice to be able to go back and look and see. So those two things. And what I find as far as motivation goes is I call it smog, mental smog. So mental smog is maybe poor self-talk, maybe things, you get stuck in a problem that's sort of irritating and it's in the bigger picture of life, it means nothing. But for that moment, you're just like, oh, this is so annoying. I wasn't planning on it. And it impacts you. And so you need to
Mhm.
shift out of that. You need to like up your motivation for, wait, what am I going to accomplish for today? So those little rituals, those little habits that I go through get the smog out of the way. And one of the things I do, and I do it almost every day, is I send a wonderful message to someone I haven't talked to for a while, or my family, or even the dog. The dog gets some love.
Every now and then. I like it.
Yeah, and it's because it makes me feel good to lavish some love on someone that I really care for. And then it's not the usual thing. So, anyway, those are my motivations that when I do what I'm doing, I will stay motivated. And the only thing that can ever kick my kickstand out so that I fall down on my side is if I don't get enough sleep, which is its own challenge for me. I fix it, and then it's not fixed, then I fix it again, then it's not fixed again. So that going
Well,
forward is a big thing.
I have a question for you that is, I I have a friend. I have more than one friend who says, I'm just not motivated. I don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah.
And she said to me a couple of days ago, she said, I don't have any goals. I've never set goals. I've never written down a piece of paper with goals of what I wanted to accomplish. I don't even know what to have as a goal. I'm not motivated and I don't want to be motivated. And it was, it was pretty, my heart hurt for her, because I've had goals since I was a little girl. I mean, really have always operated off of goals and written goals and this and that. My shirt's bothering me. Sorry, I'm fiddling with myself. But what would you say to a person who not only doesn't know how to stay motivated or just isn't motivated, doesn't have any goals, doesn't know? Have you got something that you could say to that? Because I know she's not the only one. I know for an absolute fact that she is not the only one.
Sure. Is there? Well, I have my own solution, which is counseling. And it's simply because that's where that person's sitting right there. So you and I both, we've put a lot into helping other people through the spiritual counseling that we've received, which happens to be Scientology. And so when I have someone who has that kind of a problem, who's really sitting there like that, and I know they have access to reading a book or going in and getting some spiritual counseling, that's where I would direct them. But let's just say that's not a solution for them. If they feel like there's a religious conflict or something like that, then typically what I know I'm looking at is someone who has not had any success. They've pulled back from their goals. Everyone has a goal. I'm sorry. You can't say I've never had goals. So, that's just like it's not a truth. What they consider a goal is might be good to be defined, but sometimes there just are people that they're depressed and they have poor health or they're facing a whole lot of things and they just keep losing the will to go on. And as we were defining motivation, again, it's energized and persistent goal directed behavior. When we're motivated, we move and take action. Motivation is influenced by the satisfaction of needs that are either necessary for sustaining life or essential for well being and growth.
Will you put that in the notes so that people, I like that so much. I want you to send it to me. I like it so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wonderful, wonderful definition of motivation. I even took a course. I took a course called How to Get Motivated. Yeah, but I am motivated. I'm so damn motivated. But how to keep motivated was my thing. Was like how do you keep on a path
Sure.
of
So,
accomplishing what you want to accomplish? And that was a little different. But well, I didn't mean to bring us down, but it
well,
was.
it's
But
not a down.
it's a
Yeah,
reality, right? It's a reality.
absolutely. And there are times when people can't find motivation to accomplish anything, which it sounds like that could be your friend. So, again, the importance of words, and especially words that you say to yourself, cannot be overstressed. And getting the words so that they exactly resonate with you, where you think, that's it. It's like, why are some writers or why are some speakers so wonderful? Because the words they use resonated with you, the listener, or you, the reader. What they just said exactly met how you were feeling, that you had some stuck attention on. And when they said it exactly right, you went, oh. So when I read my list of truths or statements about myself that either they're about to become true or they are true about me, that maybe my self-talk, I'm like running myself down, and then I have to remind myself, no, this is who I really am, and I know I really am that. And so, you're not going to shake me off of that. Those are curated words that over time I'll add something, I'll take something away. Yeah. So when you have the right thing, that right thing will always be right unless your life has changed, right? And you want it to be better or different. You've matured and now you're something that's even better than before. So having that list of things that you consider are right, or having a book that when you read it, it contains so many truths for you that you just walked out feeling inspired, or a movie or a song, whatever it is, return to that. Make note of what it is, first of all, and then return to it and use it again to motivate yourself. Um, so back to your friend is I used to be a life coach. I used to help people in their business specifically, but attitude and motivation is everything, no matter what you're doing. And so when I had anyone that was like that was just like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know where to start, blah, blah, blah. It's so overwhelming. I would just pull them back to one positive thing that they knew they were good at, that they knew they could get as a result, that they knew that it was repeatable, and what was the attitude, and I would just get them back to that place, and we would build on that for them to move forward. So I was always like, go back, figure out what worked before, what made you feel good, where were you in a good place, and then roll forward. And it always was positive. And I actually have to share a little story about that, because it's an interesting thing to me, at least. I had someone, a business owner, who had many, many positives in her life. She's really beautiful, energetic, had a good sense of style and taste, and she worked with other women. But her personal life was really torn up. She was in an acrimonious divorce with children, with a wealthy husband. They were always going back and forth to court. Her house was being sold. It was like one thing after another to keep the tumult going. And so she'd be gone for a long time. And then she'd come back and say, I need your help. Oh gosh, you're so great. And there was a point where I no longer was doing that. And I just said, I'm sorry, but I don't coach anymore. I'm doing something else these days. And I said, but first I was just like, wow, she's been gone for so long. And I felt a little about it. But then I thought, well, why do I feel maybe because I need to finish the communication, which I did with her. And that was fine. I said, look, I put you somewhere where I know it's a good match for you. I know it will help you. And you do have a lot of such positives. You just need to focus and you'll get there. And she wrote me this beautiful letter back. And she said, well, one of the reasons I love working with you is because you always reminded me of who I really am, of what I'm really capable of. And you helped me. And every time we worked together, I would move forward. And then she let life get in the way. So the point on that motivation, she turned to me for her motivation, which was just because I gave her the words that were the right words to remind her of who she really was and what she really was capable of. And if you can find those words to remind you of who you really are and what you're really capable of, and keep reminding yourself of that, I believe you will have the motivation to hit the goals that you set for yourself. My
fantastic story. I love that.
Okay.
I'll tell you that in 2001, I picked up the book. It was a shiny platinum cover on the book, and it was called Multiple Streams of Income by Robert G. Allen. And in the back of the book, he discussed something called what he called vivid vision. He said you have to write down exactly what it is you want. Think about it and write it down and tweak it until it's doable. And he said, what you want to do is you want to go out and shout it to the mountaintops. You don't want to just think it in your head or read it to yourself. You want to go out on your balcony and shout to the trees and make it vigorous and really like you're so excited, like a cheerleader trying to get the crowd going. He said that's how you need to do it. He said you need to do it any multiple, not just in the morning, do it all day long. So and in the book he said if you would like coaching from me, which I did want coaching from him because the book really spoke to me, and like what you said, it was just the words were just exactly what made me sizzle. And so I wrote my vivid vision and I sent it in, not realizing that everybody who sent in their vivid vision would get to be coached by him if you happen to have $5,000. And I invested $5,000 in myself, and it was the best 5,000 I ever spent because I became a multimillionaire because of my relationship
Wow.
with Robert Allen, partly because of my relationship with Robert Allen. And so the vivid vision thing, I think people think it's too woo woo. You know, like the salesman standing in front of the mirror in the morning and saying, "I'm going to make X number of sales, and I am strong. I am." If it's you and you're saying it to you, it is powerful. And if you're standing there saying, "Oh, this everything I eat goes to my hips," yeah, that's your truth. That is your truth, right? So don't say that. Say some, create something, and do say it vigorously. I he doesn't call it vivid vision anymore. We were talking about, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago or so. We were talking on the phone, and I reminded him of that story, and he laughed, and because because we ended up writing a book together. Nothing down for women. That was with Robert. It was his brand. We used his brand for
Good
my
deal.
book,
Uh-huh.
and it was because of the vivid vision. And he said, "Well, I don't call it that anymore, but it is vivid. It's a vision of what you have, and you put in sensory details, and you put in what you smell and the textures that you feel and the sights that you see, and you make it very vivid." And that
Hmm.
makes it come alive for you. So for motivational, I think maybe the vivid vision would still be a very valid technique. I'm going to start. I have a vision
Okay.
on my finances, and I'm going to start using that. I'll let you know because I'm going to start doing that to the sunrise. Because I get up right about sunrise, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna sing my vivid vision to the. I'm gonna greet the sunrise with my vivid vision.
I love it. Okay. Take a picture of that some morning and share it.
I
Everyone will be
will.
interested.
I always exaggerate because if you want to reach something, make it a big thing. So because you're not, if you want to get that high, maybe you'll only get that high, but that high is much higher than where you were down here. So I say, I'm a millionaire, billionaire with my finances in unshakable power in a stellar range with ever rising graphs. And it goes on and on. I have a plentiful bounty of everything I need and want to accomplish my highest and noble goals and purposes. And it just goes on from there. And so I need to do that because that's what I did before I became a multimillionaire. Successful action.
Yes,
I
do it
gotta
again.
repeat, I gotta repeat the
Now you got
success.
to video it though, right?
Huh?
You got to video yourself
No,
doing.
we go into the we should go to the beach and do a sunrise at the beach or a sunset at the beach,
Oh,
whatever,
that'd be
and
great.
do our emotionally charged, vivid visions.
Let's actually do it. Actually, on your rooftop would be really fun.
Oh, it would be fantastic.
Yeah, because that's such a great view of all the water.
So you just
Like
have to look on
Karen
your
living in
little.
a penthouse.
Well, look, I do have a penthouse. It is true, and
Good.
I have 2 stories, and they're each one is a better view. So you have to look at your apps that you have and find out what time sunrise is, and you have to be over here before sunrise, and you have to have your makeup on and be. Oh no, we can do it without makeup. We don't have to have makeup.
Oh, it must have makeup.
You could be in your jammies and I could be, well, I don't wear jammies.
Well, is that TMI? Oh my God. TMI.
Jammies give me nightmares. They tangle me up and I think I'm trapped.
Okay. Well, I think we're actually kind of at the end of an episode.
Yes, we are. I guess I hope we are. You can.
We're going to add we're going to add greeting the sunrise with great
Yes,
enthusiasm and
yes,
gusto as we vivid vision whatever it is that we will be creating.
absolutely. We'll
Absolutely.
model it for them. I love it.
All right. All right, everyone. It has been a pleasure. So stay motivated, and we will see you next week. Yeah.
I
Bye.